Old money. Old money is not just being rich. Old money is being born inside a financial machine that was built long before you existed. These are families whose wealth has been passed down through multiple generations. They did not suddenly become rich because of one business, one viral moment, or one lucky investment. Their money survived parents, grandparents, market crashes, wars, divorces, bad decisions, and entire generations of people trying not to ruin what came before them. People imagine old money as mansions, private schools, country clubs, and quiet luxury. And sometimes it is. But the real feature of old money is not taste. It is preservation. Old money families are usually not obsessed with looking rich. They are obsessed with staying rich. That is why their wealth is often stored in things that last: land, trusts, private businesses, art, real estate, family offices, elite education, and social connections. Their power is not only money, it is access. They know the lawyers, the bankers, the schools, the families, and the systems that protect wealth. They are not just playing the game. Their family may have helped write the rules. But old money also has a weakness. It can preserve wealth better than it creates it. A family can inherit assets, but not always ambition. If enough generations become careless, even old money can slowly decay. Old money is not a fireworks show. It is a fortress, quiet from the outside but built to survive. New money. New money is wealth created in one lifetime. These are people who were not born inside the fortress. They had to build their own door. New money can come from business, entertainment, sports, tech, social media, sales, investing, or taking one big risk at the right time. These people did not inherit a dynasty. They created a financial break in their family story. People often judge new money for being loud. The cars, the watches, the mansions, the vacations, the logos, the private jet photos. But sometimes new money is not just showing off. Sometimes it is the emotional reaction of someone who spent years feeling invisible and finally has proof that life changed. The mechanism behind new money is creation. A person creates value, captures attention, builds a company, sells a product, signs a contract, or finds an opportunity before the crowd. The strength of new money is hunger. These people often know what pressure feels like. They know what it means to want more because they remember having less. That hunger can create insane momentum. But the weakness is that earning money and keeping money are completely different skills. New money can disappear if lifestyle grows faster than assets. The same energy that creates wealth can also spend it. New money is often a victory lap after years of being underestimated. The danger is when the victory lap becomes more expensive than the victory. Business rich. Business rich people do not just make money. They own a system that makes money. This is one of the most important differences between income and wealth. An employee sells time. A business owner builds a machine. That machine may be a restaurant, a software company, a local service business, a factory, an agency, an online store, or a brand. The exact industry does not matter as much as the mechanism. A business takes products, people, customers, marketing, operations, and systems, then turns them into cash flow. If the machine works, it can make money even when the owner is not personally doing every task. People think business owners are free. Sometimes they are. But in the beginning, many business owners are not free at all. They are owned by the thing they built. They think about payroll, rent, taxes, suppliers, angry customers, broken systems, competition, and problems that employees never see. The strength of the business rich is leverage. One person can only work so many hours, but a business can use employees, software, distribution, brand, and capital to multiply effort. The weakness is risk. A job can be stressful, but a failed business can take your savings, your sleep, and sometimes your identity with it. A business is a money machine, but in the beginning, the owner is usually the fuel. Tech rich. Tech-rich people are a specific type of business rich, but their superpower is scale. A normal business grows by adding more locations, more staff, more inventory, more machines, or more physical space. Tech can grow differently. A piece of software, an app, a platform, or an online tool can be copied and distributed to millions of people without being rebuilt from zero every single time. That is why technology can create wealth so quickly. One small team can build something in a bedroom, garage, or office, and if the product solves the right problem, it can spread across the planet. The mechanism is digital scale. A restaurant has a limited number of tables. A hotel has a limited number of rooms. A taxi company has a limited number of cars. But a digital platform can add users in different countries while the founders are asleep. This is why tech wealth can look strange. The person in a plain hoodie may own more economic power than someone wearing a custom suit. The wealth is not always in the appearance. It is in the code, the platform, the data, the network, and the ownership. The strength of tech wealth is speed. The weakness is probability. Most startups fail. Most apps vanish. Most ideas are not revolutionary. They are just forgotten. Tech wealth is what happens when one solution can travel the world without buying a plane ticket. Real estate rich. Real estate rich people build wealth through property, land, buildings, and location. This is one of the oldest wealth machines in human history because land has one feature that most assets do not have. It cannot be manufactured in the best places. You can create more products, more apps, more videos, and more money, but you cannot create more land in the center of a growing city. The real estate rich may be landlords, developers, property investors, commercial building owners, or people who slowly collect rental properties over decades. Some start with one small apartment or house, rent it out, use the income and equity to buy another, and repeat the process until one property becomes a portfolio. The mechanism is ownership of space. People need places to live, work, shop, store things, and build businesses. If you own useful space, you own something other people need. The strength of real estate wealth is durability. Buildings are physical. Land does not disappear. Rent can continue for years. Property can be passed down, refinanced, improved, or sold. But the weakness is that real estate is not as passive as people think. Tenants leave, pipes break, roofs leak, interest rates rise. Governments change rules. Bad debt can turn an asset into a trap. Real estate is slow wealth, but slow does not mean weak. Investor rich. Investor rich people get wealthy by owning assets that grow over time. They do not necessarily create the products, manage the employees, or run the companies themselves. Instead, they buy pieces of businesses, stocks, funds, bonds, private companies, real estate, or other assets, then let time and ownership do the heavy work. People think investors get rich by predicting the market. Some try, most fail. The more reliable version of investor wealth is less exciting. It is buying good assets, holding them through fear and greed, reinvesting, and allowing compounding to work longer than most people have patience for. The mechanism is ownership plus time. If you own a piece of a growing business, you can benefit from the work of thousands of employees without managing any of them. If that business grows for years, the value of your ownership can grow with it. At first, investor wealth looks boring. A small account, small dividends, small gains, nothing impressive. Then time passes. The money produces more money. That new money produces more money. Eventually, the growth becomes louder than the original effort. The strength of investor wealth is patience. The weakness is also patience because most people do not have enough of it. Investing is boring until the boring part starts paying for your life. Celebrity rich. Celebrity rich people build wealth through attention. Actors, musicians, influencers, streamers, entertainers, public speakers, and media personalities all belong in this category. Their main asset is not a building, a factory, or a piece of software. Their main asset is that people are watching. Attention can become money in dozens of ways. Sponsorships, ticket sales, streaming revenue, advertising, merchandise, product lines, brand deals, paid appearances, licensing, and business partnerships. But fame itself is not wealth. Fame is an opening. What happens next decides everything. Some celebrities make huge amounts of money and lose it because their lifestyle becomes bigger than their financial foundation. Other celebrities understand the real game. Turn attention into ownership. That is why the smartest celebrity rich launch brands, invest in companies, create products, own equity, and build businesses outside their main career. They know attention is powerful but unstable. People can love you this year and forget you next year. Algorithms change, trends move, audiences grow up. The strength of celebrity wealth is reach. One person can influence millions of buying decisions. The weakness is dependence on public interest. If the spotlight moves and nothing real was built, the money can move with it. Fame is a spotlight. Ownership is what keeps the room lit after the spotlight moves. Athlete rich. Athlete rich people earn money through rare physical ability. Professional athletes can make wealth through contracts, prize money, sponsorships, endorsements, appearance fees, and sometimes business partnerships. Their talent is extremely valuable because very few people can perform at that level under that pressure. But athlete wealth has one major difference from almost every other type. The clock is brutal. A business owner can build for 40 years. An investor can compound for 50. A real estate owner can hold property for generations. But an athlete may have only a short window at the top. Sometimes 10 years, sometimes less. One injury, one bad season, one younger competitor, or one aging body can change everything. The mechanism is peak performance. The athlete gets paid because their body, discipline, and skill create entertainment, winning, attention, and value for teams and brands. The strength is high income in a short period. The weakness is that the income may stop long before the lifestyle does. This is why the smartest athletes treat their playing career as the beginning, not the whole plan. They invest, buy businesses, build brands, own media companies, or turn their name into something that survives after retirement. Athlete wealth is a race against time, and time is undefeated. Crypto and Wave Rich. Crypto-rich people are part of a larger group called Wave Rich. These are people who become wealthy by catching a new trend, market, technology, or financial wave before the majority understands it. Crypto is the clearest modern example. Some people bought Bitcoin, Ethereum, or other digital assets early, when most of the world was laughing, ignoring it, or calling it fake. Others built exchanges, wallets, communities, projects, or companies around the new industry. The mechanism is timing plus risk. Wave-rich people are not always experts in the traditional sense. Sometimes they simply see a new direction earlier than others and take a risk before the crowd arrives. The strength of wave wealth is speed. A fortune that might take 30 years in real estate or investing can appear in a few years, sometimes even months. This is what makes it so attractive. It feels like a shortcut through the normal rules of money. But the weakness is violence. These markets can move up fast and down faster. People can become millionaires on paper, refuse to sell, then watch the wave crash. The same volatility that creates the fortune can destroy it. The biggest trap is confusing luck with identity. Making money in a wave does not automatically mean you understand wealth. Waves can lift you fast, but they do not promise to carry you home. Quiet rich. Quiet rich people are the easiest to underestimate because they do not perform wealth. They may be teachers, engineers, accountants, mechanics, small business owners, regular employees, or ordinary-looking people living ordinary lives. They do not dress like movie millionaires. They do not need everyone to know what they have. They may drive used cars, live in modest homes, avoid luxury flexing, and seem financially normal from the outside. But behind that normal life, they may have paid off property, large investment accounts, no consumer debt, emergency savings, retirement funds, and decades of quiet discipline. The mechanism is consistency. Quiet rich people usually do not become wealthy from one dramatic event. They become wealthy from repeating boring decisions for a very long time. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference. Avoid lifestyle inflation. Do not upgrade your life every time your income rises. Let time work. Let compounding work. Let ego stay quiet. People think rich people look rich. The quiet rich are proof that real wealth often looks boring on purpose. The strength of quiet wealth is freedom. A car repair is annoying, not catastrophic. A job loss is serious, not immediate destruction. A bad month is survivable. Their money is not there to impress strangers. It is there to protect their choices. The weakness is that this path is slow. It does not go viral. Nobody claps while you invest quietly for 30 years. But that is the point. Quiet wealth is not trying to win applause. It is trying to buy peace. The quiet rich do not look wealthy because they stopped buying things to convince other people they were successful. Inherited rich. Inherited rich people are different from old money. Old money is a dynasty. Inherited wealth is often one major transfer that changes a person's life. It could be a house, a business, a portfolio, land, cash, or assets passed down from a parent, grandparent, or relative. The person did not necessarily grow up inside a wealth preservation system. They may not have family offices, private bankers, trust structures, or generations of financial education behind them. They may simply wake up one day with more money than they have ever managed before. People think inheritance is easy, and compared to building wealth from zero, it is obviously a huge advantage. But receiving money and managing money are not the same skill. A large inheritance can create freedom, but it can also create pressure, confusion, guilt, family conflict, and bad decisions. The mechanism is transfer. Someone else built or owned the asset, and now the responsibility moves to a new person. The strength of inherited wealth is the starting position. The person begins ahead. They may skip decades of saving, renting, debt, and financial struggle. The weakness is preparation. If someone inherits money without discipline, knowledge, or emotional control, the money can disappear faster than anyone expects. Inherited wealth is not just receiving an asset. It is receiving a test. Getting money and knowing what to do with money are two completely different inheritances. High-income rich. High-income rich people are people who make a lot of money, but their wealth depends heavily on the next paycheck, contract, client, or deal. These are doctors, lawyers, executives, consultants, top salespeople, tech workers, entertainers, creators, business operators, and professionals who can earn more in one year than many people earn in several. From the outside, they look rich. The house is nice, the car is new, the restaurants are expensive. The vacations are impressive, but high income is not the same thing as wealth. The mechanism is earning power. These people are valuable because of their skill, reputation, position, network, or ability to produce results. Their income can be extremely high, but if the lifestyle grows at the same speed, very little turns into actual capital. People think a big salary automatically means financial security, but if every dollar already has somewhere to go, the person is not wealthy. They are just operating an expensive life with a powerful engine. The strength of high-income wealth is speed. A high earner can build real wealth much faster than the average person if they control spending and invest the difference. The weakness is lifestyle inflation. The better they earn, the easier it becomes to justify bigger houses, nicer cars, private schools, luxury trips, and a version of life that quietly consumes the income before it becomes wealth. High income makes you look rich. What you keep is what makes you wealthy. A high salary is not a fortress. It is a river. If you do not build a reservoir, it simply flows through your life and disappears.